All right, guys. So in our science unit that we are going to be working on for the next little bit is called life cycles. And what we're going to do is combine this a little bit with your reading your research club animal. So whatever animal that you're working on for your reading assignment, it'll be just easier because you'll have the same books. You can work on that animal as your animal for your life cycle. So you can see here, this will be on the assignment. There's going to be a video that you hear that you can watch, and a little bit gives you an idea about what a life cycle is. And it's on cicadas. And I have to admit, it is a little gross and a little weird at first, but these are cicadas. These are the bugs that I'm sure you've heard, you've seen their shells, and it goes over. But this gives you an idea about what a life cycle is. So you're going to do a little bit of research on the life cycle of your animal, and you're looking to find out the life cycle and its basic needs during each of those life cycles. And I'll show you what I mean in a moment. You want to explore the unique lifestyle because while some animals are similar, they still have a unique lifestyle or life cycle. Some of them might need water in the beginning and then they might not. Some of them might live all the time in the water. Some might be born on land and make it back to the water. Depending on what your animal is, you're looking for any of those unique features. And you during the stages, you need to note the stages of your animals, and then what are some important steps and important changes that happen in each one depending on what it is. Some might, if it's a bird, they might start out with like down feathers, small little feathers, and then they might get into more as they go into the next life cycle. They get their feathers that they'll have for the rest of their lives, those type of things. So important steps and changes during those life cycles. And typically the examples I'm going to show you in a moment, this one has four. They should probably at least have three. And if you have to combine some, you can do so, but you should be able to have like, when they're born, then when they're kind of like what you guys are in your early childhood, and then maybe like an adult, and then maybe as they grow older. So you should have your life cycles out. Probably four should be sufficient. So you'll watch the video and you're watching what I'm doing on number two, how do you complete your life cycle. So here, this will be the next slide. Now, this is just an example. This is from Mrs. Manning. You can see this. This is a life cycle of a frog, okay? We all seen frogs. We know what they do. And then stage one, their eggs, right? The mother frog lays their eggs near water, typically. It could be a lake, it could be a river, it can be a pond, whatever. Okay, that's the first stage. Nothing, they're not doing much of anything. They're eggs. Then here we see on stage two, it turns into a tadpole. So that's some of the stages of your animals. That's a unique step. That's an important step when it changes to a tadpole. It looks a little bit like a fish and it lives under water. And also they're called polywogs. So on things like that, you're giving me important, detailed information from going from stage one to stage two, egg to a tadpole. All right. Then we move on to our stage three. They call those froglets. Tadpole gets legs and bulgy eyes, big eyes, but it still has its tail. So that's the stage three. So we're seeing unique changes here. It gets legs. That's a big change. It goes from looking less like a fish to more like what we might see a frog. And then the adult frogs, that's when it loses its tail. And then some of them live both in the water or on land, or they may not ever go back to the water. But these are the stages. You're going to fill out each one of these little bubbles with the important information that you're finding out about your assigned animal organism. Okay, so whatever you get assigned from your reading the research club, you will focus on that as your animal and their life cycles. The books that I have given you through Epic and whatnot, you should be able to find out the stages, what they are, how they're unique, how they're important, the changes, more importantly, the changes from maybe like here, stage 1 to stage 4. A lot happens between here, stage 1, they're eggs, and 4, they're an adult frog. Whatever your animal is, there is important steps, important changes that happen. And that's what I want you to fill out and hear. And so this should take you a little bit of time. You should be able to do your research. You've probably already done some research with your research and from the reading workshop, but you are focusing on life cycles at this point. Things that are unique and important steps and changes that get them from eggs, or some of your animals, if it's a dog, they don't come in as like, they come out as little puppies or little kittens. They're, depending on what your animal is, that's the stage 1. When they're born, that's stage 1. And then 2, when they're adults, grown up, whatever organism, that's stage 4. Okay, again, you guys are doing fabulous work. If you have questions, this is a little bit newer assignment. I'm hoping everything works out a little better than some of the other ones that I made or have copied. So if you have questions or any concerns, shoot me an email. We can Zoom. We'll make sure we get everybody on the same page. Okay. Good luck.